Sup Days fans, today I'm going to talk about the history of Stephanie Johnson. She was portrayed by Amanda and Jessica Knudsen when she was a baby, and later by Shayna Rose and Shelley Henning during her teenage years, and finally by Abigail Klein as a grown-up adult in her 30s. She was created by Richard J. Allen and Anne Shoto. She got introduced by Ken Corday and Elle Radley. In 1990, Kayla is arrested during the ceremony for Marina Toscano murder, when she got falsely accused. The real killer was Isabella Toscano. Kayla gives birth to Stephanie after going into labor on the witness stand. Convicted of murder, Kayla is sent to prison. At first she tries to keep Stephanie with her, but then decides that prison was no place for a baby. Sheila, the nanny who had become obsessed with the baby, kidnaps Stephanie and takes her to Australia. Upon hearing of Stephanie's kidnapping, Kayla escaped from prison and she and Steve followed Sheila to Australia, where they managed to get their baby back. After word came that Kayla had been cleared of Marina's murder, they returned to Salem, where Steve and Kayla are finally legally married. Later in the fall, Steve decides to become a police officer. He's injured in a boat explosion rigged by Lawrence Alamay and meant for boat break. Steve begins to recover but is killed when Lawrence has his IV poisoned. Kayla and Steph moves in with Shane Donovan for protection, and two eventually begin a relationship. In 1991, things become complicated when Kim returns to town to find her sister and ex-husband living together, when a circumstance leads her to become involved with Lawrence Alamay. Shane is paralyzed in the line of duty. At first, he refuses to have the surgery to regain the use of his legs, but Kayla helps him recover as their relationship deepened. In 1992, Kayla decides to move to Los Angeles in the spring of 1992 to start a new life for her and her daughter. We then heard about Steph's childhood, that Kayla tells stories about Steve to Steph, the good things. And Kayla always worked hard and then took care of Stephanie at home. It was just Kayla and Steph all this year together. In 2006, Stephanie and Kayla returned to Salem. Stephanie was now a teenager and a famous race car driver. She had a brief relationship with Max Brady before she left town. Stephanie returned after her father had been revealed to be alive and began experiencing problems. Steve and Kayla had problems, including their daughter's race car crash and a stay in quarantine after being exposed to a toxin at the hospital, helped slowly bring them back together. She then left town after her parents got them back together. In 2007, by then Stephanie was romantically involved with Jeremy Horton. Stephanie talked Chelsea and Max into working with and investing in Jeremy's business, Touch the Sky Airlines. On July 17, 2007, Stephanie made Jeremy mad, and as a result, he put her head underwater in a hot tub, nearly drowning her, revealing his abusive side to Stephanie. However, he covered this up by declaring how much he loves to be with her. Steve didn't trust Jeremy. He found something dirty. It was revealed that Jeremy was in jail before. Next episode, it was revealed that while he had stolen a car for a joyride and shoplifted when he was younger, and he also was convicted of fraud because he set up a bogus charity for cancer-afflicted children and used the proceeds on a condominium and sports car. Steph didn't care. She thinks Jeremy changed, but the business turned out to be a counterfeit clothing smuggling operation, and Max lost all of his money. Stephanie and Max started to fall for each other, and the two began a flirtation. Max originally believed Touch the Sky Airlines was involved in prostitution, and he worked with Stephanie, Chelsea, Jeremy, and Jet Carver, who was undercover to save the girls. Jeremy didn't show up, and Jet ended up being shot. The girls were revealed to be working with Jeremy's business partner, Kai Rawlings. He forced Max and Stephanie out of the plane, and Max and Stephanie made love in a cave. Stephanie told Max that she was committed to Jeremy and couldn't be with Max, so he began dating Morgan Hollingsworth, the president of a sorority that Stephanie and Chelsea would later join. Soon Jeremy left town to avoid the police, and Stephanie was left to sort out her feelings for Max. Stephanie was so jealous of Max and Mark that she went out one night at a party and went home with Ford Decker. She thought that she would just get her mind off Max, but instead Ford drugged her drink, and when she was subdued, he raped her. Stephanie didn't know how to deal with the rape and kept it to herself even after Ford continued to drug and rape other women on campus. Stephanie could not find it in herself to testify against him, and she conspired with her sorority sisters to lure Ford to their house and drug him to teach him a lesson. The girls successfully drugged Ford, but in his groggy, he tried to rape Chelsea. Ford chased Chelsea up the stairs, but then got too groggy and fell down to the stairs to his death. Stephanie convinced the other girls that they should not call the police, but instead they should hide the body themselves. Stephanie called Max to help move the body, and the sisters kept the secret. 2008, Chelsea finally told Ford's dad where Ford's body was. No charges were brought against Stephanie thanks to Victor's intervention. The rape brought Max and Stephanie closer and they became inseparable. Stephanie even helped Max find his biological sister Melanie in France. Stephanie and Melanie did not get along, and the rivalry began to take a toll on Max and Stephanie's relationship. Max told Stephanie that Melanie confessed to a crime, and Stephanie turned Melanie into the police. Furious that Stephanie would break his trust, Max broke up with Stephanie. Stephanie set out to pick up the pieces after a break with Max. She later welcomed her brother Joey, and the family left town, but they keep sending cards and phone calls. She took an internship at Titan and began working with Philip Kyriakis. Sparks flew between Philip and Stephanie supported Philip through his mother's cancer, and soon the two began dating. Unfortunately, Melanie would be a problem with this relationship too. Melanie became a consultant for Titan and set her sights on Philip as well. In 2009, but Stephanie was the only woman that Philip wanted. He proposed to Stephanie and she accepted, but before they could enjoy their engagement, Stephanie became the latest target in Demira Kyriakis feud. Ija Demira ordered Owen Ken to kidnap Stephanie, which he did. While he was waiting to turn Stephanie over to Ija, Owen became obsessed with Stephanie. He wanted to run away with her. Stephanie allowed Owen to kiss her in hopes that she could distract him enough to escape, but her plan didn't work. Luckily, Philip, Melanie, and Bray found where Stephanie was being kept and were able to rescue her. Stephanie started suffering from nightmares and daydreams about her time being held captive. Stephanie started suffering from nightmares and daydreams about being held captive. She went to see a doctor who prescribed her some pills to help her sleep and deal with anxiety. She never fully recovered from the trauma and blamed her danger on Victor and Stephanie's feud. She insisted that Phil break off all ties with his father. When he refused, she broke up with him. Phil tried to get her back and to reconcile for a brief time, but Stephanie broke up with Phil for good when she learned that he had slept with Melanie during one of the periods when he and Stephanie were on a break. In 2010, Stephanie started pursuing Nathan Horton, a young doctor who had been dating Melanie. They went on a few dates, but Stephanie saw that Nathan still had feelings for Melanie. When Melanie and Philip with Kyriakis grew closer, Stephanie did everything she could to keep Nathan away from Melanie, including tearing up a love letter that Melanie had asked Stephanie to give to Nathan. Melanie and Philip eventually got married, and Nathan moved in with Stephanie. Stephanie still worried that if Melanie was ever single again, Nathan would go back to her. When Stephanie learned that Philip had cheated on Melanie with Chloe Lane, Stephanie convinced her friend Ian to hack into the hospital's database to see the results of Chloe's paternity test. Stephanie learned that Philip was the father of Chloe's baby Parker, and was about to have Ian change the results when they saw that someone else had already changed the results of the test before Chloe saw them. Stephanie knew that Philip was a real father, but kept quiet so that Melanie wouldn't believe Philip. Later, it was revealed that Parker was indeed Daniel's son. In 2011, Nathan proposed to Stephanie to marry her. When the truth came out and Nathan found out that Stephanie had kept the secret, he broke up with her, and she got away with it. After that it was revealed, she still lives in Salem and eventually left Salem. In 2017, she came back for her parents' wedding. In 2019, it was revealed that she was very sick about Steve's whereabouts off screen. In 2020, it was revealed from Steve that Steph is dating someone and Joey is soon coming and living with her. In 2022, Steve and Kayla came to visit. Pizza was delivered, but the pizza had a bomb in it, and Stephanie was injured in the blast. She recovered and came to Salem a couple of months later. She entered the apartment and triggered the alarm. Steve came with his gun raised to find Stephanie. Stephanie was in town to meet with a mysterious client, and Steve wanted to tell her because of Orpheus. Stephanie didn't want Steve to accompany her, and they clashed over the possibility that it was Orpheus leading her into a trap. Stephanie insisted that a friend recommended the client to her. Soon after, Stephanie ran into Alex. Alex was immediately smitten with her, but Stephanie refused to vanish. Stephanie then sent to see if Sonny would hire a PR firm called SJPR. Sonny hired her as Alex showed up at the office with flowers for her. Stephanie turned Alex down, saying she doesn't do relationships with people she works with. Stephanie's mysterious client turned out to be Paulina Price, who was running for governor. Again, Stephanie wishes John and Steve followed her and attacked Paulina until they realized who it was. Paulina hired Stephanie, and Stephanie later hired the recently widowed Chad DiMero, who she bonded with. Stephanie was dismayed and furious when she found that not only had Steve not told her that Orpheus had kidnapped Kayla, but that she also was sick and dying. Alex noticed Stephanie was upset and tried to reach out to her, causing her to lash out at him, thinking he was once again trying to make a move on her. After Sonny was stabbed in the back in the hospital, Alex took over as interim CEO, and Stephanie was forced to work with Alex, who maintained an air of professionalism about him. Stephanie walked into a heated argument between Alex and Sonny and tried to break up the argument between them. While working late and drinking, Stephanie and Chad shared a kiss. They went back to Steve and Kayla's apartment and were about to have sex when Chad stopped it. Stephanie and Chad had their work cut out for her when Sloan Peterson started blackmailing Paulina on behalf of a mystery client. The client had a dossier on Paulina's daughter Chanel Dupree. Stephanie called a meeting with Sloan, and while she and Chad waited for her to arrive, Alex showed up and called Stephanie a hypocrite because he saw her and Chad kissing and was convinced they were in a relationship. Chad and Stephanie made Alex realize it was just an accidental kiss due to them drinking and grieving since Stephanie's mom was dying and Chad's wife had died. Alex apologized to them. When Sloan refused to back down, Chad and Stephanie schemes to distract Sloan with a counterfeit money while Stephanie would break into Sloan's apartment and steal the file. When Stephanie broke in, she was surprised to see Alex half naked and handcuffed to the bed. After Alex agreed to scheme with Stephanie, they bonded closer. They were babysitting on Henry and they shared their first kiss and started dating each other. In 2023, unfortunately, Alex's jealousy doomed his relationship with Stephanie after he turned off her phone so Chad couldn't interrupt their night together. She missed the call from the hospital and that her mother was dying. Chad was there to comfort her and their relationship deepened instead. Thankfully, Kayla wasn't dead and Stephanie and Chad tracked her down in Greece where she had been held captive. Stephanie remained friendly with Alex and supported his going to therapy to address his womanizing personality. She and Chad got an apartment and moved in together, but Alex moved nearby across the hall and continued to intrude until Stephanie had a serious talk with him. Unfortunately, she soon realized that Chad didn't feel the same way she did about getting married and having a future together. They began to splinter. Things got more complicated when her ex Everett Lynch showed up in Salem and wanted her back. He explained that he hadn't ghosted her but had been in an accident and stuck in a coma for years. Chad told Stephanie he wanted to work on their relationship, but when she found out he secretly bought the Spectre in order to fire Everett, she moved out and they split up. After bonding with Jada Hunter over drinks at the pub, Stephanie woke up the next morning in Harris Michael's bed, though he insisted they hadn't had sex. In 2024, focusing her attention on Everett, she told him she wanted to be more than friends again, and the pair confessed their feelings. However, things got complicated when Jada recognized Everett as her ex-husband Bobby Stein, and it was soon revealed that the guy was suffering from DID. Chad wanted Stephanie to keep her distance as Everett insisted he still loved her. She helped convince Everett to go to therapy and told Chad the truth about the alternate personality. But then Bobby took over and wouldn't let Everett back out again. Posing as Everett, Bobby dumped Stephanie, compared notes with Jada, and agreed that Everett likely wasn't in control. They also wondered if Bobby had something to do with stabbing Rafe, and both were shocked to discover him near death after overdosing on pills. Everett proclaimed his love to Stephanie before he died, and she refused to believe he'd killed himself. It was actually Connie who killed him to cover her own tracks. She leaned on Alex as she grieved, and they grew closer. Stephanie also took on a new job doing PR for Body and Soul. and helping Alex with his lines for the soap led to them sleeping together. Eventually, she accidentally overheard Johnny, Demira, and Alex that Alex, who wasn't at the time sleeping with Joy Wesley, that ended things between her. Soon she was hired by Philip to do PR for him to get the Kirak's fortune, but he forged Victor's letter and they kissed each other and then slept with each other on New Year's Eve. In 2025, Stephanie accidentally overheard Philip saying that he forged Victor's letter. They broke things off. Steph told Sarah the truth about the letter. Sarah told Steph to keep it a secret because if Santa finds out, he will kill Philip. Steph agrees to it so she won't be responsible. When Steph told Alex that she only used Philip to get over Alex, and Alex said he used Joy to get over Steph, the kiss witnessed by Joy. When Alex and Joy broke things off and Stephanie and Alex came back together, Stephanie overheard Sarah saying that she needs a pregnancy test for Joy. Steph confronted Sarah with it. Steph then confronted Joy. Joy said yes, it's possible, and Joy wants that Steph tells Alex about it. Joy says she isn't pregnant, while in reality she is pregnant. She didn't want to hurt the both of them. Joy left town. Santa overheard Philip and Steph about them having a secret. Santa assumes they are having an affair behind Alex's back. Sarah wants Steph to go along with it. Steph told Alex the truth, but he will go along with the lie. Eventually, the truth came out, but Alex and Stephanie are still protecting Sarah that she knew. Later in the year, Steph is writing a steamy novel named One Stormy Night. Alex wants Stephanie to publish it, but at first she didn't want to do it, but later she did publish it under the name Anastasia Sands. And later she revealed on Halloween that she was Anastasia Sands. Also, Jeremy Horter returned, claiming he's changed. We'll see where this storyline is heading, and I'll see you all next time.
Huh? Like a peacock!